That saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know, it definitely rings true. You really have to learn to build a relationship. Everybody is a potential relationship. I can tell you this right now, if Joe Rogan called me up and said, hey man, $1 million to get on my podcast, I would do whatever it takes to get on that podcast because the return on investment would be mind-blowing. So I just got back from Vegas. Hopefully you checked that video. Had a chance to hang out with Brad Lee, looking to work with him and a few of the other guys down there. I had a lot of people reach out to me, on how did I end up hooking up with him? How am I meeting a lot of these like business celebrities or whatever you want to call them? I really wanted to chat about that today, and I kind of mentioned it a little bit in my vlog with Bruce in the back there, but I wanted to talk about the importance of building relationships. All right, so I'm going to talk about a few of the factors on why it's important to build relationships and why that is probably the most important part of any successful business, especially real estate. And then I'm also going to chat about how do I go out and form these relationships, because it can be nerve-wracking, it can be challenging, it can be expensive, it can be a bunch of different things, right? So I'm going to kind of dig into that. So first things first, to circle back to it, why are relationships important? So if you had a chance to watch any of my previous videos about scripts, about business planning, about finding your avatar, all those different types of things, and if you haven't, please check those out. The main focus is having a conversation and building a relationship. We have to understand that, and I've actually just had a meeting with my team, some of my agents are having issues with clients ghosting them, not calling them back, etc. This happens not because they're not good agents, not because they don't know what they're doing, not because they can't create and give great value, because they do not have a relationship with that client yet. Remember this, is if you want clients to trust you, if you want clients to be able to work the path that you want them to work in their best interest, you really have to learn to build relationships. Relationship is first. That saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know, it definitely rings true. That being said, obviously you need to know what you need to know, otherwise that trust is gonna diminish real quick when you've built that relationship. But understand this, is I have a ton of clients that if I make a single call and be like, hey man, you got $50,000 in the bank account right now? Yes, you need to buy this investment property. If they have the ability, they're gonna jump on and do it. Why? Because that trust has been established and we have a relationship. I'm not just a realtor, I'm an advisor, I'm a friend, I'm somebody that they can count on. And this is incredibly important for any type of business. When I was down in Vegas meeting these amazing people, I was very candid and straightforward with them. I'm like, man, my main goal here is to build a relationship with you guys. That is my goal. Why? It's not just because I can make money off them. Obviously, that's an important thing for everybody. But it's because now I'm gonna surround myself with people that are going to be able to, expand my knowledge, expand my mindset, expand the people, their sphere, and the people I can work with that surround them. And it's gonna create a ton of opportunities down the line. So I'm going to talk about that in a bit. So understand this, and this is a conversation I literally had with my team today, that instead of necessarily focusing on, I'm going to go do my calls, I'm going to go do my door knocks, I'm going to go do my videos, I'm going to go do my whatever. Instead of focusing on the conversations, I want you to focus on building the relationships. And so what I mean by that, let's completely throw out that whole thing where we say it's like, okay, we need to do 500 dials, 300 conversations, and book 30 appointments or whatever, right? Instead, let's focus on, I'm gonna do X amount of dials, but the most important thing for me is not necessarily the conversation count, but how many relationships am I going to build? Over the phone, in person, at events, or wherever it is. I want you to focus in your business on creating 3 to 5 relationships a day. If you can create 3 to 5 relationships that may not be any fruit of that labor right this second, but I can guarantee it that if you built that relationship and that trust, business will come. And this is proven time and time and time again. How do we go about doing that? And this is something that seems a little bit challenging and daunting, but I want you guys to remember this, okay? A lead, what is a lead? A lead is generally a name, phone number, email address, and some sort of intent. It could be to buy in 2 years, it could be to buy in 2 months, it could be to buy in 10 years. Doesn't matter. That is what we consider a lead. So a lead, if you ask yourself, out of all the people you know and the people you don't even know, how many people out there have a name, phone number, email address, and want to buy or sell real estate sometime in their life? All of them, right? So everybody is a potential lead. So now how do I turn those people, which is everybody around us, into a relationship? So there's a couple things. Having this prospecting mindset of building relationships everywhere you go based on real estate. So that's the first thing. So when I'm, for example, going to a local event, I'm going out to dinner, I have sold waiters of mine properties. Why? Because I build a relationship when I'm with them and I bring up real estate every single time. So if you're constantly understanding that every single person you talk to, and I know you're already rolling your eyes, I can feel it, about being pushy and cheesy, it's not. It's like, hey man, how long have you been working here? You love it? Yeah, man, you're a great waiter. I love the stuff that you're doing. I really appreciate it. Yeah, if you don't mind me asking, every single time they ask, what do I do for a living? I'm in real estate. You ever thought about buying that? I'd love to hook you up in a real estate deal. Whatever. It's a conversation. You build relationships. Simple as that. Okay, so the first thing is everybody is a potential relationship. That's the broadest spectrum one. The next thing, and I'm gonna make sure Bruce links it up here somehow, if we can figure out how to do that, links it up here somehow. Going after your specific avatar. Relationships are built on commonalities, on common ground, on working towards same goal or similar goal. My avatar, if I've talked to you, is entrepreneurs, professionals, outdoorsmen, hunters, fishermen, guys that go to the gym, like that overall encompassing umbrella, those are guys that I get along with. And we get along real well. Guys and women, I should say, not just guys, that I get along with, and we get along well. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna put myself in that avatar. I'm gonna go network with that group. I'm gonna market towards that group. I'm gonna be in places where those guys and gals are. So when the opportunity arises to speak with them, there's already trust built, there's already a relationship built, and because we have so many things in commonalities, so when I start talking about real estate, it's that much easier. First of all, everybody's an opportunity. Second of all, we're gonna go after relationships specifically based on our hobbies, interests, likes, dislikes, political views, religions, whatever you wanna do, your avatar. And then finally, we're gonna look specifically at networking events. How do I get myself in front of people? How do I communicate with people? How do I DM people? How did I become buddies with Brad Lee? Or buddies is a bit a strong word, but soon to be buddies, you'll see. How did I get in front of the camera or in front of the people with them? How did I get on their podcast? It's very, very straightforward. I reach out. You cannot be afraid to get rejected by trying to build connections. And so there's two things that you always have to remember when you're trying to originally build a connection in a relationship. What do you offer to the relationship? Because if you're going after to build that relationship, if I'm going to meet Brad Lee, if I'm going to meet all these, really cool and multi-millionaire business people, what am I bringing to the relationship? Because it's pretty obvious what I'm going to get out of it. And the reality is, in most cases, I'm always going to get more out of them than they're going to be able to get out of me. But if I can bring value to them, I can bring a deal, I can bring money, I can pay. Maybe you got to pay to get in front of these people. Maybe it's going to cost you $20,000 to get on somebody's podcast. I can tell you this right now, if Joe Rogan called me up and said, hey man, $1 million to get on my podcast, I would do whatever it takes to get on that podcast because the return on investment would be mind-blowing, right? So my point is there are going to be things that you need to do to go out and build those relationships. There are going to be paths. You may have to pay to get in the room. You may have to surround yourself with other people that are going to do introductions. But there's always a path to be able to build a relationship with somebody that's going to benefit your life, your business, and in turn, you're going to be able to do the same for them. And if we go in with this mindset of building relationships, not just getting customers, your business will quadruple 10 times, 100 times versus just looking for that next client. So anyways, it's a short. I'd love to be able to talk to you guys a little bit more in person. I have a step-by-step program on how to build these relationships and how I've been able to create relationships with billionaires, movie stars, people that you see on TV, on the internet, the whole shebang, strictly by me going after them. So if you're interested in learning how to do that, not to be too much of a pitch, DM me or hit my link tree, reach out, and I'd love to go into more depth with that. If this is something that you guys want to learn more about, throw out some comments, and I'd love to maybe go into some more specifics on another video. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys today. I appreciate it. Have a good one.